We all have things we want to say to people, but sometimes it's not appropriate to say certain things at any time. Hi, I'm Payskine. Welcome back to another episode as usual. Today, the whole episode is going to be about things we don't say out loud. I myself included have some problems with saying things out loud that shouldn't be said. And I know that you, the viewer, have wow, I stuttered really hard there, have said some things that you shouldn't have said. We all have. I myself have said some things to some people that you shouldn't say to people. Like, have you ever comforted someone and try to be, how I am, realistic and not understand the full emotional part of things, not understanding if they're actually going through something that's very, very serious for them. But for you, it's not. I have done that a lot, and I wish I haven't. But there's some things we shouldn't say all the time. And if you're old enough, you know that there's times not to say crap. And we all heard the quote, if it's something not good, don't say it at all. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. There's always something not good to say. There's always something nice you could say. The problem is, when's the time to say it? I myself struggle with that thought a lot. Because, as I said before, I don't like to sugarcoat things, and that's a problem. And I think all of us could have a bit of a problem when it comes to trying to be realistic, because you can't lie to someone all the time and say it's going to be okay no matter what, because it's not always going to be okay. Life isn't always, as I say, sunshine and rainbows. It's going to have moments where you need to just say the right things when it's needed. I cannot stress that enough. There are times where you don't have to be, realistic about everything. I struggle with that one so much because I have the feeling if I tell someone the lie or sugarcoat it, they're going to believe it. And it's like a truth, a full 100%, like, oh, that's what's actually it means. That's what it is. When you sugarcoat things, I feel like you're lying. And so I don't know what to say half the time, because I know if someone just lost someone in their life, I can't be like, oh yeah, me too. Yeah, it sucks. What can you do about it? All those bad things you shouldn't say to anyone if they lost someone. The first thing you should do is try to comfort them. But I am bad at that. I know I'm horrible at comforting people. And it's something I struggled with for many, many, many years, was the fact trying to comfort people. And I'm going to get into a deep story. And if you do not like the talks about suicide and self-harm, I would suggest probably skip a little bit ahead of this. But when I was 13, I had a friend, and her name was Zoe. When she was going through the worst parts of her life, her parents were not the best of people you will ever meet in your time. They are horrible. Sometimes I wish they were dead. Like that bad of kind of people that I don't respect at all. And she was constantly overworked by them all the time. She was very stressed all the time, and she needed someone like me who was a friend, who was joking all the time. I joked every day of my life. And I lost someone before that, but I was 12. So the whole effect of it wasn't as much. I just knew I lost someone and lost their life. So it wasn't as like a prominent, memory that was like traumatizing me as much as this one did. She wanted someone that was able to help and say things correctly and give her support. And all I knew how to do was the joke. It's all I knew. And there's a song that I could just reference right now from Bo Burnham. At the very end, it goes something like, when fully irrelevant and totally broken, come call me and tell me a joke. And that's how I was. I always joked with people. I never really was serious because I thought life was more, fun. And that's something that didn't help her. And I'm sorry if I get a little emotional on this part, but it just how I helped wasn't what I need to say. What I should have said was things to help her and to go to her friends that were closer, do all the stuff you need to do. But she decided to take her own life on call with me. That right there was the moment I knew no more jokes all the time. No more always trying to make people happy. You need to address the situation and know what's appropriate at that time. I didn't know that. And I don't want to be the person that blames herself for taking someone's life for a cost of their life. But I will always say to myself that I should have done something better. And I know you, the viewer, if you ever watch this, be like, oh, you couldn't have. it's already happened, don't worry. But it's that feeling. And if anyone here has lost anyone, you know the feeling of you could have done this. I could have said this. Things we could have said and things we should say. It's in our nature to want to fix things and have a solution for everything. But that's not always the case. So I'm gonna ask you, the viewer, if you probably skipped, I don't know if I'm gonna edit the timestamp here, but I'm gonna ask you, the viewer, is there some things you should say, or things you should have said, or things you kept in your head that were great? Like some things you have to keep in your head, like opinions on other people, what not to say and what to say. There's a lot of things we don't say out loud for, well, good reasons. It's just, at what age do we realize that we truly shouldn't say things? Myself, I was very young to understand that kind of stuff. A lot of people who are adults, most of my viewers, know that it's something you can learn through jobs, people, friends, family. I always address the same things all the time, but it's true. You could understand this stuff as a kid, knowing that if you joke all the time, people are not gonna take you seriously. And so that's what happened with me. If I joked all the time, things won't be serious all the time. And I knew life wasn't gonna be the best, so I took it as a joke, like life is gonna be fun if I make it fun. But I'm only doing myself. And when it came to others, I didn't think about them. I didn't think about other people. I thought about myself. And that was very selfish of me. But as many people could say, but you were a kid. We were all kids. We all didn't know about all these things in this life that you would understand when you're older. So there's that aspect of my life that I'm like, I understand, I get it. I know I should have said things differently as a kid, but you don't know. Let me just talk to you real quick. You don't know everything that's going to happen in a day. Something may change. Someone may have a heart attack in your life. You don't know what's going to happen. It just happens. And knowing what to do at that moment, what to say at that moment, is something you learn through life. You learn through other single moments that tell you, you should do this. This has worked. This is this person. You have to understand people, understand if they will take that advice, if they're the person that actually listen. Are they the person to actually understand what you mean? And how you say it is so important. You don't know this at your age. No matter how old you are, you will always get better at this. Why do you think old people have said the same things or helped in different ways that you would now? Because that's what worked for them for so long. They said so many things that this is what they know. And you can't just change it. You go through experiences that different you from every other person you've ever met, ever. So when people say you shouldn't say that, or you should say this, you notice that it's completely different people. Not everyone's the same. Different scenarios come different. People have different sensitivities. And I know nowadays everyone's mostly sensitive to everything that pops in their head. But to everyone that's sensitive to everything, forget that everyone's different. Everyone has different experiences. And if you are understanding of that, you could say and convey that, hey, I don't like that. Just, I understand. Just, can you not make that joke around me? And responsibility and knowing what you shouldn't say, you should say, I'm sorry. I understand. I will try my best. If you know you can slip up like myself. I know that I could slip up and say the wrong things, but you know, not everyone has the bad intentions in this stuff. I thought I was an absolute piece of garbage when it came to this because I didn't understand what people meant by that. I was like, well, you're just ignorant. You just don't understand. I was being ignorant. I was. Not them, me, because I was a kid and I feel stupid. I know most of my episodes usually have an intro and I've forgotten to do that. But I want you to know that I'm doing my best right now not to really have a whole, because this is a very deep one. I usually have a script and something, but I'm a VR and I can't really have a, piece of paper on here. But I'm asking you, leave a comment of something you shouldn't have said, something you wish you said, anything. I want to hear it. I will read it. I will try to respond because we're human. We can relate on a lot of things. Even if it's small, even if it's a little thing that you thought only you said that no one else, no one else has done this. I'm human. I've had similar experiences. Not the same, but close to. But I hope you have a great day. I'm going to end this episode now and just want to hear what you guys think. Comment down below. Subscribe. I know the things probably glow up, and toodaloo.